The first couple tips involve the leveling process. You do not want to constantly clear every area while leveling. A good rule is to stop for yellow mobs, and if there's 4 or more mobs gathered together. So you can do a few AoE attacks and they all die and you can move on to the next grouping of mobs. This allows you to maximize your experience gains because otherwise you may end up with 2 or 3 levels above the area you're inside of, and then you're actually losing experience. For your passive tree, especially if this is one of your first characters in Path of Exile, and you particularly do not have the time to be able to reroll 1,000 times because of work or other things, then my tip for you is to either find a good player to follow his build guide, or if you plan to make your own build, just keep in mind that you need a lot of defenses from your passives, especially starting out. And that's one thing that almost everybody's character has in common, because they plan to get nearly 2 to 300% HP bonuses. People are able to accomplish this because you can get a fair amount of offense off your gear alone and your gem combinations. While starting out, it can seem overwhelming how many different stats each item can have, but a good tip to look for while leveling is to use items with the most HP, elemental resist, and the socket colors you need. Having HP on nearly every piece of gear is especially important if you have a ton of HP passives like you should. An often overlooked part, especially for new players, is the type of flask, prefixes, and suffixes that you have. Here are a few types that you should be on the lookout for. This type of granite flask will give you increased charge recovery speed from the perpetual part, and increased armor during flash effect from the iron skin part. You will also want your quicksilver flask to be perpetual, and it also needs to be adrenaline because that increases the run speed even more, and you can just fly out of situations that you get caught in. An especially important one if you're having trouble living is this seething flask, because it'll allow it to be an instant cast, and then you can use your heal over time potion and spam your instant cast potion if you're taking an insane amount of damage. The last one is a saturated life flask. And this is especially important because it gives you a huge heal over time. Check the description of this video for a link to the section on the Path of Exile website where they show the minimum and maximum values of what an item can roll for on potential stats. While you don't want to spend all your alterations to get these flasks, you want to keep an eye out for them on the ground and identify any blue ones that drop, or in trade chat you can maybe get some cheap ones, or even on the forums. Especially if you're max level, you can find some good ones on the forums. These are all the tips I can think of for those fresh to Path of Exile. Thanks for watching and I hope you learned something. Please subscribe and thumbs up if you liked this video.